Hi, Jason Kelly, Manifested Mercy here again with you. Just so you're aware, for those that don't know, Manifested Mercy is an organization based out of the Alton, Illinois area, specifically here to try to help people dealing with incarceration and those in recovery that are battling addictions, as well as those who have been affected, victimized. As I've stated in several of our other videos, people that have been involved with addiction and that are in recovery, and certainly those that have dealt with criminal thinking and criminal acts that have dealt with incarceration, all have victimized people. So if there's a need to give back, it helps with the process of understanding the damage that was done and learning empathy, as well as trying to live a normal life. So anyways, we have done 5 videos before this. This will be the 6th of our videos based upon our 6 points. So our first video that we did was specifically about safe housing and the need for it. The second was about gainful employment. The third one, was about programming and education. The fourth one was about the need for a faith base. Our fifth one was reconnection with family and community. And finally, our 6th one, when we started Manifested Mercy several years ago, this was kind of a wild card that would help with other ones. I've now come to more incorporate it as one of the main 6 points because I've seen both sides. So today's video is specifically about the need for good accountability and support. If you've ever been a part of an AA or NA program, they call it a sponsor. Other programs will call it an accountability partner. The word isn't what matters. The key is the need for it and the importance of it. And that's what we want to briefly talk about today. As always, these videos run roughly 10 minutes, but could be expanded into an hour to an hour and a half program discussion for conferences or meetings in regards to the need for it and feedback and group discussion. So here's the thing. The reason for a need of accountability and support is there's strength in numbers. One person alone can make a difference and can make a change. However, we have found that 99.9% or whatever percent you want to use of the people that are dealing with these battles have found success when there are others involved. When they're on their own, they're more likely to go back to their old ways. It's easier to do something you've done for years than to start up a new habit. But while you're still struggling with that change, it's good to have people around you that will help you in that process, that support you. So, the best example, let me give this. The best example I have, there was a gentleman who, a wonderful man, that was a part of one of the support groups that my wife and I were assisting with at the time, whom talked about that he was really excited. It was during a check-in time, and he was really excited that he'd been able to go and listen to a band he really liked at a bar. And it's just someone with alcohol issues. And he was able to get out of there without taking a drink. And everybody in the group knew. And he got called out. And we were like, well, what were you doing in a bar? Well, I wanted to listen to a band. Okay. Well, we always talk about a need for a way out and a backup plan. He'd gone by himself. No one had gone with him. And it was just, I wanted to go, so I went. Tempting oneself, testing oneself are never good if you don't have those scenarios set up. And so, just so you know, if you're wondering what the answer is, yes, you can go to a drinking establishment if, one, you have somebody with you. That's accountability support we're talking about today. Secondly, always leave those establishments by 10 o'clock. You would be amazed at the changeover in a drinking establishment, especially on a weekend after 10. Sometimes it's 9, sometimes it's 11, but we give the number 10. Don't go by yourself. Bring somebody with you who knows about your issues and will hold you accountable. If you're going to drink, you're going to drink. If you're going to use, you're going to use. If you're going to act out criminally, you're going to act out criminally. But at least there's someone there that's going to help you decide to do better than that. And then have a backup plan and a way out. That being said, getting back to accountability specifically, you want somebody who, and this is what you're looking for. So this is the importance of what I want to share with you here in just the next couple minutes. First of all, accessibility. This has got to be somebody that has the time for you. Not just you when you contact them, because that's very important, by the way, is you have to be willing to reach out. I just recently dealt with a major trigger event in my own life, and I still forgot to reach out right away. Though the next morning, when I was in a better place, I reached out to the 4 men in my life who serve as my accountability partners who watch over me. I should have done it immediately that evening when my mind started drifting. So you've got to work yourselves to the point where you know to get a hold of people right away. So accessibility, honesty. These have got to be people that are going to tell you what they think specifically. They've got to come out with it, got to say it. They need to be non-enabling. This is huge. Recently had somebody whom I had the opportunity to work with, whom I didn't even see the enabling going on. And I preach non-enabling and teach non-enabling, and yet if we're not careful, we don't see it. And enabling is not okay. You cannot have an accountability support person that will enable you or allow you to get by. They need tough love. They need to be able to call you out. There's no exception to that rule. They have got to be able to call you out, and you have to accept the fact that that's their role. You need to give them that power to do that. Then there needs to be understanding also. It's not that they're judging you. You want non-judgmental. But just because they're not judgmental doesn't mean they're not going to say, slap you on the wrist and say, look, you know what you're doing is wrong, so let's get you out of that. What can you do other than whatever it is? And then here's the tough one, 24-hour access with exceptions. So if they have a family, they need to have times when they can say, I won't be available for the next 2 hours. Do you know of a program you can go to, another person you can reach? I'm going to be going on vacation for a week. I'll have limited access to the phone, but I won't be able to be there for you. Those are obviously acceptable reasons, but otherwise they need to be like, my phone is always on next to me. If you're in a dire situation, call me. You can't take advantage of that and be calling them at all hours if it's not emergency, but you know you can reach them if it is an emergency. So then the last thing I want to share, the last thing I want to share is where you can find people. Certainly, if you were to contact us at Manifested Mercy, we could give you some avenues and some people to look for. I always recommend, by the way, men with men, women with women, no exception. There should be a gender-based only so that it's safer and a better understanding. I understand that in today's day and age that we try to be non-gender specific. I understand all that. However, that doesn't change the fact that you need somebody that's going to understand you better physically, mentally, and who has some of the same expectations based upon their surroundings. Certainly, if you were to come to me and you had different scenarios, if you were transgender, if you were the LGBT community, I mean, we would work out that standard to find someone that was very accepting in that role. However, outside of that, there is no exception to the rule. Men with men, women with women, needs to be that way. So where do you find those? Churches, great place to go, especially if that church or faith-based, it could be a mosque, it could be a synagogue, any type of place where you might go to worship, because they're going to have some of the like-minded faith-based that we talked about in our previous video, and they would be able to relate in that regards. Great place. Programs, AA, NA, Smart Recovery, Celebrate Recovery, some of the home groups, any of those are great. And organizations, you'd be surprised if you go to, and Salvation Army is a church, but it's also an organization, but you could go to the VFW, you could certainly check some of the local community centers. Any of those places might be able to provide that for you. Maybe even some of your local hospitals would have a social work counseling type center. Here in Alton, there's Centerstone. I think it's now Wellspring, but regardless, places like that, and say, I really need to connect with somebody on the outside, non-professionally, that could be an accountability support person with me. That all being said, as always, this video will be on the Facebook page for Manifested Mercy. It'll be on YouTube, and eventually all of these will be downloaded on Manifested Mercy's website, which right now is not really being utilized, but it is available. If you have comments or be interested in more information, feel free to instant message us or get in touch with us. Remember, you are loved and you are more than the choices you made. Have a great day.